So today I'm going to start a new tutorial series which is data structures and algorithm. So if you are enrolling with any kind of a degree program which is really into computer science or programming or software engineering, this tutorial lesson series will be very helpful because when it comes to programming, data structures and algorithm is one of the major and one of the vital factor that you have to do. Okay, so let's move to the slides. Okay, so what is data structure? Data structure means basically collection of primitive data, or you can say just a group of uh, basic data, primitive data. Okay, so you might be wondering what are those primitive data? Okay, so the examples for primitive data are integers, float, characters, and if you are familiar with programming, you might have heard of about pointers and long values and double values. So those are basically primitive data structures and primitive data: integer, float, characters, pointers, doubles, and long values. They are just single values. That is why we call those as primitive data. Okay, so the other thing is data structure. So basically, data structure means a collection of primitive data. So there are some examples has been given: array, list, stack, and queue. Sorry. So basically, those things, I mean arrays, list, stack, and queues, are arranged by using those primitive data. So take an example like if there is an array, it could be contain integer values, and yeah, take an example like list. That corresponding list could be contain both integer values, float values, character values. However, the point is those data structures has been having group of primitive data, which is there are multiple values that contain on the this corresponding data structures. Okay, and the other thing is primitive data is just a raw data, because if you take an example like 10, it's a decimal value. It's come to programming, it is an integer, so it's just an raw data. But take example like array, the array which contain integer values. So there are several integer values that we contain on the array, so it should be organized, otherwise the process could be not as much simple. So that is why data structures are organized. So just remember that primitive data structures are just raw data and they are not organized, and data structures are organized. Okay, so let's move to the other slide. Okay, so the classification of the data structure. So data structure can be classified as basically primitive data structures and non-primitive data structures, and you might have already know primitive data structures. The examples for primitive data structures are just integer, float, character, pointer, and double values, long values. Those are very simple things. And when it comes to non-primitive data structures, it is kind of complicated because there are arrays, lists, and files. So files are kind of complicated, but arrays and list we are going to learn in the later episodes. For now, just remember those arrays, list, and files are non-primitive data structures. Okay, so again, list can be classified as linear list and non-linear list. And when it comes to linear list, there are another two classifications, which is stacks and queues. And when it comes to non-linear list, it can be also classified as graphs and trees. So this is basically the classification of the entire data structure that we're going to learn in this lecture series. Okay, so linear data structure and non-linear data structure. Again, data structures can divide two parts. Those are linear data structures and non-linear data structures. Because in the previous one, in the previous slide, we just classified data structures as primitive data structures and non-primitive data structures, and now we are classifying those as linear data structures and non-linear data structures. Okay, so basically linear data structures and non-linear data structures are divided into this one, non-primitive data structures, because non-primitive data structures are the one which having multiple values. Okay, so as you can see in this image, this is the graphical representation for linear data structure, and this is the graphical representation for non-linear data structure. Okay, so as you all can see, linear data structure has some very organized manner, and each and every element has been attached one another, because that's the reason why we call it that's the reason why we call it in organized data structure. And normally we are not saying it is organized, but we're saying it has continuous data segments, because these are the data and they all are in a continuous manner. So just remember, linear data structures are in an organized manner and expressing as continuous data segments. So when it comes to non-linear data structures, it is not organized in a continuous manner, and you will be learning in the later episodes. This one are much complicated than linear data structures. For now, just remember, data structures also can be classified as these types, which is linear data structures and non-linear data structures. Okay, so let's move to the okay. Now we are going to learn about linear data structures more descriptively. Okay, so the first linear data structures that we are going to learn is array. That is the basic linear data structure that we can find in any kind of programming criteria. Okay, so array is the most common linear data structure. Basically, it is a collection of primitive data. As I already told you guys, the examples for primitive data are integer, float, characters, pointers, double values, and long values. Okay, so here is the graphical representation for an array, and there are several things that you should know. The first thing is this numbering system. As you can see, it starts with 0, then 1, 2, 3, and just like that it will be continued. And second thing is these spaces we called normally the places where I store the data, and this is one of the data stored in this corresponding array. So basically we are not saying this numbering system as a numbering when it comes to programming, we call this as indexing. So this will be 0 index, and this will be first index, second index, third index. Likewise, it will be continued, incrementally continued. And this data will be expressing as an element. So in this example, this is the sixth element. So sixth element in the fifth index. Okay, so the index is 5, element number is 6. So the element will be continued in first element, second element, third element, fourth element, fifth element, and sixth element, and likewise. For now, we are not having our first 5 elements in here because this is just an example. That's why I just represented a one element. So just remember, elements are incrementing starting with 1. First element, second element, third element, fourth element, fifth element, likewise. And indexing will be starting 0 index, first index, second index, third index, fourth index, and fifth index, likewise. Okay, so that's the basic thing that you should know about array. Okay, and the other thing is array length. Array length is basically how many element that you are corresponding, that the particular array include. Basically, how much element that your array have. So in here, we having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now we having 10 elements. So the array length will be 10. If you are having 5 elements, array length will be 5. If we having no element, which is the empty array, the array length will be 0. Okay, so that is basically everything about array. And remember, linear data structures have only one level where it consists of each and every value, and there could be having multiple arrays, but not the multiple levels in the array. Okay, so this one is will be discussed in a later episode, because we have to discuss about multidimensional arrays. So there are several things that you should know about multidimensional array, and in there I will explain about what is this level mean. For now, just remember the basic array just having one level. Array has just one level. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Okay, so we discussed about linear data structures. We have to discuss nonlinear data structures. Trees and graphs are the common nonlinear data structures. So there are some graphical images which is expressing trees and graphs. So these are just kind of complex thing because we can't explain everything about in this level. For now, just remember that is how tree look like, and that is how graph look like. So the thing that you should know about, if you can see, there are a couple of levels. So in here there are level 1, there is level 1, level 2, and level 3. And here level 1, level 2, and level 3. So just remember, nonlinear data structures have multiple levels. Okay, so in the previous one, which is the array, we are not having multiple levels, we are just having single level, one level. But when it comes to nonlinear data structure like trees and graphs, it has multiple levels. That's why it became kind of complicated rather than linear data structures. So in this level, you just remember that linear data structures have one level, and nonlinear data structures could be have couple of levels. Okay, so let's move to the other one. Okay, so differences between linear data structures and non-linear data structures. So this is kind of the summary that you should know about what we discussed before. Okay, so the first thing is order. Uh, the order of linear data structures. Elements are arranged in orderly manner. Each element has attached one another. And the nonlinear data structures, elements are arranged sorted order. Each element exists with their relationships. Okay, so it is basically what we learned in here. So as you can see, linear data structures have continuous manner, and nonlinear data structures have relationship manner. It doesn't have continuous manner. It has some kind of manner which related about relationships. Okay, so the next thing is access method. When it comes to linear data structures, the access method are kind of simple. Data consists in one level, therefore data can be accessed from a single run. And nonlinear data structures, data consist in multiple levels, therefore multiple runs be needed to access each data. So let me explain that one also. Okay, so when it comes to array, it just have one level, and if we are considering about trees or graphs, it have multiple levels. So basically, computer computer can read a one level at a time. Uh, so we are going to learn more things about later episodes about compilers and interpreters. So you will be realizing what I'm telling. Just remember, basically a computer can run one level at a time. So that linear structures have one level. So this whole data structures can be accessed in a one run, because one level could be enough for one run. So the whole data structure will be read in a one execution. But when it comes to nonlinear data structures, they having multiple levels. So there will be necessary multiple runs in order to read the whole data structure. Okay, the third one is implementation. Linear data structures, the implementation is simple due to single level, and nonlinear data structures, the implementation is complex due to multiple levels. I told this one before. The array is very simple because it's have only one level, so the representation of data is very simple because we can arrange all data in one line. But when it comes to nonlinear data structures, it is not that much simple, because there are having many things that we should consider about nonlinear data structures, because there are multiple levels and there are multiple values should be stored. So it is kind of complicated. So the implementation will be kind of complex. And the levels, I told this one also before. Linear data structures have only a single level, and nonlinear data structures have multiple levels. The fifth one, the last one, is memory utilization. So when it comes to linear data structures, memory utilization is very ineffective, and nonlinear data structures very effective. So this one will be learned. This one will be discussed in a later episode, and just remember, those are the factors that you should know about both linear data structures and non-linear data structures. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, so the topic is memory utilization of linear data structure. So there are a couple of images that you can see. The first thing is the representation of the array, and this one is the representation for the RAM. RAM means random access memory, which is your which is the main memory where where the data is stored in a computer. Okay, so in here you can see there are a couple of values: 50, 20, 13, 8, 56, and 9. So I told you before, array has continuous manner, because array is a linear data structure. Linear data structure have continuous data segment, so the array having continuous manner. So in here you can see the RAM is also having the same extraction, which is the 50 is the first one, 20 is the second one, 30 is the third one, and likewise the value, all the values has been arranged the same order like in this array. So each and every elements in the array are stored in pre-allocated memory locations of the RAM. Okay, so the thing is that you should know the data from an array will be stored also in a continuous manner on your RAM, because if you are familiar with memory allocation, the RAM is the place where each and every data that is stored on your each and every data is stored. So in order to do such a thing, that your RAM should be allocated for a very small segments. So there will be storing many data, the data from your operating system, the data from your user interface, and if you are do programming, yes, of course the data should be also stored on your RAM. So when it comes to programming, this memory utilization is one of the major things, because if you ever heard about competitive programming means basically your program should be executed in a limited time. So in order to do that, that memory utilization is one of the vital, one of the essential thing that should concluded by the corresponding programming language. Okay, so it is not that much relevant in this part. I will be discuss that thing in a later episode. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so this is the thing what I said before, the multiple levels. Okay, so here you can see array. So we know we know that array has only one level, and it's a linear data structure. But as you can see, there is a array called 2D, which means the two-dimensional array. Basically, generally we are calling this as matrix or table. So it has two levels. sorry, it has two indices, not two levels, because array is linear data structure. Linear data structures only having one level. So but it could be having one or two indices. So basically indices means uh, how much indexes that you have, how much indexes that your array has. So in here there is only one index, 0 1 2 3 4 5. This is only one index line, it is calling as index. So when it comes to 2D array matrix table, there are two index lines. The first thing is this one, and this is one index, and it's a vertical index, and this is the other index which is horizontal. Sorry, this is the vertical one and this is the horizontal one. This is the vertical index and this is the horizontal index. So there are a couple of things that you should know about arrays and 2D arrays. First thing is the size of the array. So now you know the size of the array, which means the size of the basic array is the total of element that particular array have. So in here this only has 6 elements, so the array length will be 6, so the size of the array will be 6. And here this had two indices, which means there could be having multiple elements. So in this example, this one have 1 2 3 4 5 and 3, so 3 by 5 elements, which means the total of 15 elements. So the element is 50. So then the length of the array will be 50. Likewise, size of the array will be 50. We are not saying it as like just a number. If you thorough with metrics in the pure mathematics, that's the way that you present a corresponding table. So just remember, size of the array will be depends on how much rows you have and how much columns you have. So you know what are the rows and what are the columns. These are the rows, the horizontal ones, and these are the columns, the vertical ones. So in this example we are having in this example we are having 5 columns and 3 rows. So the size of the array will be 3 by 5, which is the 50. Okay, so the array indexing, this is one we are need to know when it comes to programming. So in here this is not an essential that you should remember, but just remember this is the way how we assign the values to a corresponding array. So the 15 is the our first element, which is in the 0th index, so it will be represented as ARR 0 50. ARR means the name for this array. Okay, so that this array's name is ARR. 0 is the index and equal to 50 means the value that should stored in 0th index. Likewise, 20 is the value for first index and 30 is the value for second index. Likewise, here ARR is the this corresponding array's name, and index column mean this column's index. Sorry, this column's index, and index row mean this row's index. So if you want to store 30, the corresponding line will be ARR00 equal to 30. So if you want to store 50, the corresponding line will be ARR1 2 equal to 50. So likewise, each and every element should be allocated in that order. So it is kind of a programming thing. Just remember, that is the way how we storing each and every elements for an array. Okay, so those are the basic things that we should know about when it comes to data structures and algorithms. So this is the first video this is the first video, and in the later episode, in the second video, I will discuss about more things. So thank you.